Suri Cruise is now legally Suri Noelle. People reports that the 20-year-old daughter of Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise registered to vote under the name Suri Noelle in Pennsylvania in October 2024, confirming that the surname she first used publicly at her high school graduation was not simply a stage name or an informal choice. But while the public record establishes the change, it does not answer the question driving much of the coverage. Why did Suri remove Cruise and adopt Noelle instead? For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The newest development is not that the name Suri Noelle has suddenly appeared for the first time. That happened publicly more than 2 years ago. The update is that voter registration records reviewed by People and first reported by Page 6 now support describing Noelle as Suri's legal surname. People says she registered in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, during her first year at Carnegie Mellon University. The report does not disclose an address, political affiliation, or other unnecessary personal information, and responsible coverage should not attempt to uncover or publish those details. The Pennsylvania voter registration record shows that Suri was using Noelle as her legal name by October 2024. What it does not show publicly is the precise day she petitioned for the change, which court handled it, or when a judge approved it. Page 6 reported that it did not locate a name change petition in Pennsylvania and suggested that the process may have happened in New York before Suri moved for college. That remains an inference from the available records, not a confirmed filing history. That distinction matters because several versions of this story go further than the documents support. The record confirms a surname change. It does not confirm that Suri intended to sever ties with her father, make a public statement about Tom Cruise, or send a hidden message about her parents' divorce. Neither Suri, Holmes, nor Cruise has issued a public explanation of the legal change in the reports reviewed. Any claim about her motivation should therefore be labeled as interpretation rather than fact. The first visible sign arrived earlier in 2024, when Suri was credited as Suri Noelle in a high school production of the musical Head Over Heels. The name attracted wider attention in June, when her graduation program from New York's Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts also listed her as Suri Noelle. At that point, major outlets could confirm that she was publicly using the name, but they could not determine whether it had already been legally adopted. Photographs from the June 21st graduation showed Suri celebrating with Katie Holmes after receiving her diploma. Coverage focused heavily on the absence of the Cruise surname, although the ceremony itself was an academic milestone rather than a public announcement about her father. Suri did not give an interview explaining the program listing, and Holmes did not use the graduation to discuss her daughter's name. The choice of Noelle immediately created another interpretation. Noelle is Katie Holmes' middle name, leading multiple publications to describe Suri's new surname as a tribute to her mother. That explanation may appear logical, especially given their close public relationship, but it has not been confirmed directly by Suri. The most accurate wording is that Noelle is Holmes' middle name and that Suri chose it as her own surname. The personal meaning behind that decision remains hers to explain. 2 months after the graduation, Holmes spoke to Town and Country as Suri prepared to leave New York for college. Holmes said she was proud of her daughter and happy for her as she entered what the actress described as a period of new beginnings and self-discovery. She did not mention the surname change, Tom Cruise, or any reported family estrangement. Her comments were centered on the transition into adulthood and the mixture of pride and distance that comes when a child leaves home. That interview provides useful context because it came after Suri had started using Noelle publicly, but before the voter record became a national story. Holmes had an opportunity to frame the name as a family statement and chose not to do so. That silence does not prove any particular motive. It simply reinforces that the meaning of the change has not been made public by the people involved. Suri was born in April 2006. Holmes and Cruise married later that year and divorced in 2012. Since then, most reporting about Suri has focused on her life with her mother in New York and on questions about her relationship with Cruise. But much of that relationship coverage depends on unnamed sources, paparazzi timelines, or assumptions based on public absences. The newly confirmed name should not be used as retroactive proof of every estrangement claim published over the past decade. This is where the wording of the headline becomes especially important. Saying that Suri legally dropped the surname Cruise is supported by the record People reviewed. Saying that she legally cut off her father is not. A surname change establishes the name an adult chooses to use. The available reporting does not describe any separate legal action involving parentage, inheritance, custody, or financial arrangements. Those are different issues, and there is no basis for combining them with this name change confirmation. The financial speculation surrounding Suri is another reason restraint matters. In December 2024, Holmes publicly rejected a report claiming that her daughter had received access to a trust fund from Cruise after turning 18. Holmes called that report completely false and told the publication involved to stop making things up. That denial does not reveal anything about the surname decision, but it demonstrates why unverified claims about Suri's family or finances should not be repeated merely because they fit an online narrative. The latest record also clarifies the chronology. Suri used Noelle publicly during the spring of 2024. It appeared in her graduation program in June. She registered to vote under that name in October. The public did not receive confirmation that it was her legal surname until July 2026, when the records were reviewed and reported. The legal change, therefore, is not necessarily new. The confirmation is. That difference creates the main retention turn in this story. For 2 years, coverage described Suri as appearing to drop Cruise or going by Suri Noelle. Those qualifications were appropriate because a graduation program does not establish a legal identity. The voter record changes the wording journalists can responsibly use. People Now says it can confirm that the surname was legally changed. The record also shows that the change had been completed, or at minimum was reflected in official registration information, by the time Suri was beginning college. That timing suggests the name was part of how she entered her adult life away from high school, but even that should be treated as context rather than a statement of motive. She has not publicly said that college, her acting interests, her mother, or her relationship with her father caused the decision. Suri has otherwise maintained a relatively private life. People reported that she was photographed visiting Holmes on a New York film set in August 2025, but she has not pursued the kind of constant public visibility associated with many celebrity families. Her name has remained recognizable largely because she was born during one of Hollywood's most intensely covered marriages, not because she has regularly spoken about her parents. That makes the privacy question central to how this update should be covered. Suri is now an adult, and her legal name is a matter confirmed through public records. Her address, voting choices, personal relationships, and private reasons for changing that name are not necessary to report. The legitimate entertainment news story is the correction of the public record. Suri Noelle is not merely a name she used for a school performance or graduation. It is now her legal name. The start line takeaway is that the facts are simpler and more limited than the most dramatic headlines suggest. The confirmed development is that Suri changed her surname from Cruise to Noelle and was registered under that name by October 2024. The earlier public timeline shows she had already started using Noelle in school and theater settings. The unconfirmed part is why she made that choice and what, if anything, she intended it to communicate about either parent. Viewers should also be careful with descriptions such as revenge, rejection, or cutting off Tom Cruise. None of those characterizations came from Suri. Noelle may honor her mother, create distance from a globally famous surname, support an independent professional identity, or carry a meaning known only to her. The public evidence cannot choose among those possibilities. As of the latest confirmed update, she is legally known as Suri Noelle, is attending college in Pennsylvania, and has not publicly explained the decision. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes have also not issued statements specifically addressing the legal change. The documents settle the question of which name she chose. Whether Suri ever explains what that name means to her remains entirely open and entirely her decision.